Donald Trump, don't backpedal now. Now you're saying or acting like you're regretting or that it was a mistake that you did this mass deportation, although you set it in place and this was planned and thought out way before your presidency when y'all were concocting up this Project 2025. You had plenty of time to think about the consequences this was going to have, and you still proceeded with it. So now you're just realizing that all immigrants aren't criminals. Now you want to realize that they are actually hardworking people that have been working on these farms for over 20 years and just want to make an honest living for their family. Now you want to realize that now you have shipped all these hardworking immigrants off to their native land, that us Americans are not going to want to work in these fields for the prices that they are paying these immigrants. Now you're seeing that the farmers are suffering because of your dumb ass decisions. And it's sad because your blatant racism wouldn't allow you to actually delve into how agriculture works and how important the immigrants are when it comes to farming. And now you want to sit on a podium saying something needs to be done and that we have to use our common sense. Don't get French with us now. We ain't got to do nothing because I did not vote for you. I did not do this. So you need to fix this since they, the MAGA people, voted for you.
Are we making slavery okay in 2025? Trump just said that if farmers decide to take responsibility for the Hispanic workers that have been working their field for 10 or 15 years, then they can keep them and they don't have to be deported as long as they take responsibility for them. Does that sound familiar? You know why all this sounds familiar? Because after slavery, they used sharecropping and also convict leasing to tie black people to the land. They did not have a voice. They were afraid because their boss held all the power above their head. This is the exact same thing, but now it's with Hispanics. That's not compassion, that's control. Keeping people in the field, but they have no voice, they have no citizenship, they have no real freedom. It's just a business deal. It keeps their business rolling. They don't have a voice, but they can pay taxes. I mean, this is the same play. Work decades, pay taxes, live in fear. And the crazy thing about this is the Hispanic workers can only stay if the farmer signs their permission slip. So they know these workers are essential, but instead of giving them real status, they keep them dependent. That's not reform, that's exploitation. That's modern day bondage dressed up as a policy. This is Lady Queen Blackwood News.
A Lebanese immigrant and co-owner of Trump Burger is now in ICE custody and has had his green card revoked. Yes, the Trump Burger in Texas. There are apparently several of these locations, and he is one of the co-owners of a Trump Burger there. He got into a dispute with the other owner, a legal matter, and apparently the other owner called ICE on him and got him detained. His green card has now been revoked. I've seen some other things saying he has been deported. That is not factual. He has not been deported yet, but he could not even show up to his own court date to defend himself because he was in the custody of ICE. This is a 100% fuck around and find out and a classic FAFO to the nth degree. This man came here to the United States from Lebanon and opened a Trump Burger and is now feeling the effects of Trump's deportation and immigration policies. This man would stamp Trump on the buns of his burgers and give it out to all the MAGA conservatives. I'm sure the restaurant is just full of Trump images, memorabilia, all sorts of things. He idolized this man, loved this man, would take a bullet for this man. Well, now he's going to take a potential deportation back to Lebanon because of this man, because he has had his green card revoked and is sitting in ICE detention. I don't know how you get any more FAFO'd than this, but the co-owner of Trump Burger is finding out in a big way.
It appears as though Donald Trump has just worked out that his deportation policies hurt American farmers. Who knew? I mean, as we say in London, what a plonker. What a complete plonker. This was as obvious as you like. But Donald Trump has just done a news conference now where he's been saying that unfortunately there have been some workers on American farms and they might not be citizens and have all the paperwork, but they've been working there for 20 or 25 years and done a really good job, and now farmers are having to get in criminals and things like that instead. And it's so obvious what's happened here. Big farming businesses in the States will have been trying to get his attention for a long time. They will have finally got his attention, maybe through, threats of what's likely to happen, but they've got it through to Donald Trump's thick skulls that if all of the immigrant workforce get chased out of the States, then this is what is going to happen. Lots of American farms will go bust. Other American farms won't be able to harvest and sow all of their produce. That means there's going to be a shortage of food in the US. That's going to drive up prices. And with Donald Trump's 10% tariffs on absolutely everyone from the rest of the world trying to sell in food produce into the US, that means that basic food prices are going to rocket right up, and that is going to drive inflation up, and that is going to weaken Americans' economies. And the rural states are going to be really pissed off with Donald Trump about this, and his approval ratings are already sliding. So this has clearly finally gotten through to his dense skull, because now he is realizing that it is not right to be chasing off a lot of the hard-working workforce on American farms. So changes are coming, and he's going to think of something different and watch this space and all of this BS. Whether he'll be able to turn on a dime fast enough in order to save American agriculture for its output this summer and autumn, who's to know? But it's so obvious that this would happen. We had the same thing in the UK, incidentally, with Brexit, which the UK voted for by 52% to 48% in 2016. And part of all of the politicking and angling around that was keeping fellow Europeans out of the UK. And that included a lot of workforce, particularly Eastern European workforce, that would come over and work seasonally on our farms. And Brexit just made all of that more difficult. So what did we have in the UK? We had lots of fruit and vegetables rotting in fields and in greenhouses. And at the same time, we also had barriers with food coming in from Europe because of the whole Brexit deal. And that really pushed food prices up and deteriorated the quality of food that we had in our shelves. So this is not a new thing, right? This is clearly a case of Donald Trump diving for policies before he understands fully what the implications of the policies are. But it is obvious AF. And here we are now, and he's starting to realize what his smash and grab of the immigrant workforce means to American productivity in the rural states and the cost of food right across the states. Well done, Donald.
Adam Schiff spoke with a farmer who said that 20 of his workers did not show up because they fear Trump's immigration checkpoints. Look at this.
Fire Bar farmer Joe Del Bosque told the senator 20 of his workers haven't shown up due to fears over immigration checkpoints.
If there aren't going to be people to pick the food, it's going to go rotten in the fields, and that means that the fruit that is and vegetables that are picked, the price is going to go.
Trump pretends to be an economic genius, but I guess he doesn't understand the basic law of supply and demand. Trump's immigration raids are hurting everybody in this country, not just undocumented workers, but also the farmers that rely on them and us. American farms depend heavily on immigrant labor. Over half of all U.S. farm workers are undocumented. These people are harvesting our food for poverty-level wages and no benefits. Tell me an American who wants to work in those conditions for that level of pay. But Trump's aggressive ICE raids have undercut that workforce, leaving food rotting in the fields, food prices going up, and putting small farms at risk. This isn't just inhumane, it's bad economics. These farms cannot function without workers. Trump's raids are not solving any problems, they're just creating new ones. If we really care about food security and fair treatment, we need immigration reform, not political theater.